Welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how you can perform a one sample trimmed or Yuen-Welch mean test. Usually this test is done with independent samples, but it can actually also be done with a one sample. It's similar like a student test, a student t-test, but instead it uses, as the name implies, a trimmed mean and a winsorized variance. I have a separate video where I'll simply show you how you can actually just use my own add-in, which has a function that can calculate all the important information straight away. But in this video I'll show you how you can do it without using any additional add-ins. I have my example data in column A, and the first step I need to do is actually set a hypothesized mean and a trim proportion. I'm going to be using 50 as my hypothesized mean, and as a trim proportion 5% in total. So that would mean 25% from each side. Then the first thing we need to do is determine the trimmed mean. So what I can do for that is actually use Excel's function trim mean of column A and then 2 times my percent proportion. Now remember that I'm using a version of Excel where I'm using a semicolon to separate parameters. In your version that might just be a comma, so depending on which version of Excel you're using and how it's set up. We also need to sort all the values. For that I could actually simply just select column A and then go for sort, but if I don't want to change the original order and just create a new one, what I could do is I first determine the sample size by using the count function, and then I list all the values from 1 to that sample size in column B. So that's what I've done here. The first one is simply 1, and then here it's simply checking if this one is empty, don't do anything, and otherwise if this one plus 1 is bigger than the sample size, also don't do anything, and in all other cases just add 1. So this just creates 1 to something. You can also just type in 1, 2, 3 and then use the autofill handle, or just say, well, it's this one plus 1. But if this becomes less or more, then this function will actually take care of that. We need to find the corresponding value then in column C. So here I'm going to actually use the small function, and then from column A, and then the first smallest value, and this is going to be the second smallest value, etc. In other words, then this column got sorted. Then we need to determine how many values we actually want to trim. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually say, well, it's going to be this n multiplied with that trim proportion. Those need to be replaced of the winsorized mean. So I'm going to look up the 98 value plus 1. So that's going to be the value for index 1 to 97 or 98 actually. Those are going to be replaced with 22. And from the upper end it's going to be the sample size minus that 98, and again the second value in the columns BC, and that's going to give me 79. That's going to be replacing anything that's greater than that. So that's what's being done in column D. It simply is checking if the value is actually less than this 22, then replace it with 22, and if it's greater than 79, then replace it with 79, and in all other cases simply give the original score. So that's what this formula does. It also still checks if it's not empty, so it wouldn't get like error messages. Alright, then we can determine the winsorized mean, which is simply the average of this column D now. We can also calculate the sum of squared differences with the winsorized mean. And for that one we can simply do is actually calculate the variance, the population version, and multiply that with the sample size. That should give us the exact same result. So that's what this one is doing. We determine the number of scores after trimming, which should be twice the 98, because those are the numbers we're trimming from each side. And we can then finally determine the standard error by using this formula. We have everything we need, so it's a matter of just filling out the formula, and that gives us 0.42529 in this example. The t-value is then the trimmed mean minus our hypothesized mean divided by that standard error, and that gives us minus 5.366. Alright, the degrees of freedom is the sample size that we used for our trimmed mean, so that's this 1773 minus 1 gives us 1772. The p-value, you can either use the t-dist 2t or 2 times 1 minus the regular t-dist, and the use, of course, our degrees of freedom. The alternative standard error method has a slightly different formula, but we have all this information. This is the proportion we trimmed, n was the sample size, and that sum of square deviation. So we can simply plug everything in. You might notice it's slightly different than the other version, so it also gives a slightly different end result. But still, this is showing minus 0.07. Which actually indicates that this 1.1 should be divided by 10 to the power of 7, which is extremely low. So both of them are in essence below 0.05, which is the usual threshold. Therefore, we would reject the null hypothesis, which was that the average age was 50, and therefore it's significantly different from 50. Alright, I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching.